Greetings, everyone. My name is Vidhi Sharma. I'm a graduate student in data science and business analytics. I would like to welcome you all to the 6th annual Charlotte Women in Data Science virtual conference hosted and sponsored by UNC Charlotte School of Data Science and Laws. The With Charlotte Conference initiative aims to inspire and educate data scientists across the region, regardless of gender, and to support women in the field. With the current state of the world mainly interacting online, we are grateful for your decision to attend our 2-day virtual event and show your support for our various speakers. I would like to extend a special thanks to all of our attendees for showing up and showing your support. We'll have a Q&A session later on, so drop in your questions in the chat box. Now, I'm happy to introduce our speaker for the hour, Ms. Linda. She's a Senior Business Intelligence Developer at Epic Analytics Implementation, North Carolina.
Hello, my name is Linda Yang, and I am passionate about healthcare analytics. I am the Senior Business Intelligence Developer on North Carolina's Epic implementation team. In addition to hands-on configuration and development, I help ensure that North Carolina's analytics are built, tested, and ready for our Epic Go Live on July 24th this year. I've had the pleasure of working in healthcare analytics for the past 13 years. Prior to joining North Carolina, I was a senior developer with Duke University Healthcare System, specializing in custom Epic analytics. My niche in Epic analytics started in 2012 when I was on Novant Health Epic implementation team. Epic EHR is an electronic healthcare record software used by many healthcare organizations in the United States. These include hospitals, providers, and medical retailers like CVS. Epic Analytics, known as Cogito, are proprietary applications and development tools used by healthcare organizations to produce reports, dashboards, and machine learning insights embedded directly into clinical workflows and delivery of care operations. Ultimately, my data career started at Premier in 2007. Today, I want to share with you how the data science and analytics field can be a meaningful and rewarding profession. The title of my presentation is #Passion. Let your passion lead you to data science and analytics. The goal for my presentation is to inspire future women data professionals, and the materials I present will still be relevant for women at all levels of this profession, even those who have extensive years of experience. First, I'll share how our passion can lead to opportunities in data science and analytics. Next, I'll talk about how this is a growing profession. And lastly, I'll speak on why we, as women, are needed in this field. These will drive 3 key decisions you can make to propel your passion into data science and analytics. We're often told to follow our passion, to find out what we really care about and to pursue it. I'm sure many of us hear this from our parents, our friends, and we certainly hear this from thought leaders and celebrities, like Oprah. She said, "Forget about the fast lane. If you really want to fly, harness your power to your passion." For me, it's healthcare. As far back as I could remember, I've always wanted to help sick people get better. It started with stories from my grandparents who were refugees of war. While living in refugee camps, it was the missionary doctors and nurses who gave them medicine and helped them when they were sick. Even after they came to the United States in 1970, my grandparents still had a tremendous appreciation for doctors and nurses. In turn, that appreciation inspired me to help sick people get better. my devotion to healthcare grew when I discovered that healthcare is not only confined to doctors and nurses who are at the patient's bedside. In reality, delivery of healthcare services is a vast industry that relies more and more on tech professionals who can transform the industry. My passion in healthcare led me to data science and analytics. Within the Epic Analytics niche, I specialize in healthcare revenue cycle operations. I develop and maintain reports and dashboards that show historical and current trends for metrics such as active AR total, patient volume, and provider utilization. Metrics such as these are used to make improvement decisions and monitor the health and performance of my organization. Additionally, I maintain Epic's proprietary machine learning models known as cognitive computing for my organization. These models produce probability scores which are embedded into workflows to help efficiencies and the delivery of care for patients. One example is the risk score of patient not showing up for appointments. Based on the thresholds provided, protocols are followed to help patients make their scheduled appointment date. Through the Epic Analytics I manage for Ortho Carolina, I am helping sick people get better and, dare I say, more efficiently and faster. This in itself makes the work that I do and the contributions that I make meaningful for me. What motivates you? What moves you and gives you purpose? I believe one way to determine where your passion lies is to look at the hashtag you are following. Some of the hashtags I follow are parenting, health IT, and HFMA, which stands for Healthcare Financial Management Association. As a member of this professional organization, I receive resources and current events, insights from leading professionals in this space. According to a social media platform, Hootsuite, some of the most widely trended hashtags across Instagram and LinkedIn include travel, fitness, fashion, and innovation. Wherever your passion lies, you can find opportunities within industries that align with it. In all industries, data points are being collected every day. There's data everywhere. In every interaction, every transaction, and every service presents a set of data points. In a report published by the International Data Corporation, the amount of data created over the next 3 years will be more than the data created over the past 30 years. The growth of data creation means the growth of data consumption. You don't have to choose between your passion or a professional career in this field. Instead, choose to enjoy the journey. In a report published last year, the World Economic Forum identified 7 professional clusters as professions of the future. It estimates that from the year 2020 to 2022, data and artificial intelligence has an expected growth rate of 41%. It's the highest expected growth rate compared to all 7 professional clusters. In a separate report, the World Economic Forum examined 15 industries across 26 countries. It estimates that by year 2025, about 85 million jobs will be displaced by a shift in division of labor between humans and machines. 97 million new jobs will emerge that are more adapted to the shift in division of labor. Some of the leading data professionals growing in demand are data analysts and scientists, artificial intelligence, and machine learning specialists. Opportunities in this field already exist across a multitude of industries, such as healthcare, telecommunications, entertainment, and agriculture. Let's take a look at these specific industries, aligning with some of the most trended hashtags I mentioned earlier. Here's hashtag travel. Have you been stranded at an airport or experienced last-minute changes to your flight itinerary? Any disruptions to our travel plans are inconvenient and could make for a terrible travel experience. If your passion is to travel and to visit exotic places, then you may find meaningful work in enhancing travelers' experience. An article by firm Altexsoft outlines several scenarios where data science and analytics is applied to the travel industry. One example is optimized disruption management. Qantas is Australia's largest airline and is one of the first to adopt this technology. Optimized disruption management applications predict travel disruptions based on information about the weather, current delays, and a series of airport service data. Timely notifications are then sent in order for a contingency plan to be put into action. Ultimately, this helps to maintain an enjoyable travel experience even when disruptions occur. Let's take a look at hashtag fitness. Are you on a mission to train like top professional athletes? Or like me, are you still trying to get your sit-up form correct? Regardless of what level you are at, if this is your passion, then go for it. There is meaningful work in making fitness training easier, eating healthy more convenient, or bringing techniques that professional athletes use to the masses. Data professionals are already making huge impacts in this fitness industry. It is now common to use fitness tracking applications and devices such as Fitbit and Garmin. There are also a variety of phone and web applications to view and analyze exercise activities. More recently, brands like Athos sell fitness apparel that are embedded with sensors so that people can use their own personal data to modify their workout routines and maximize their own fitness regimens. This brings me to hashtag fashion. Do you follow the latest fashion trends and icons? Do you have an eye for assembling the most awesome outfit? Then you may find meaningful work in extracting fashion insights for your favorite brands. Fashion United, a trusted global network for fashion news and jobs, uses AI to create a more efficient marketplace for their business-to-business platform. An increase in demand for data professionals have led brands and retailers to hire data professionals for roles such as analysts and developers. Fashion United posts these opportunities on their website for a multitude of famous brands such as Nike, Michael Kors, and Tiffany & Company. 15 years ago, data science and analytics as a field was practically unheard of. Today, there are more and more resources available. Be resourceful and take advantage of them. Now, universities such as the University of North Carolina at Charlotte have degrees and programs in this field. We are holding conferences like this one, where we share knowledge and experiences to provide awareness for enhancing this field. Gender disparity in STEM professions continue to exist. Only about 26% of data professionals are women. You, me, us women, we have strengths and perspectives that are desperately needed in this field. Much of the time, data professionals work in collaborative and creative capacities. In a study where about 500 data professionals were surveyed, the results showed that 70% of respondents work with at least one other person on projects that involve analytics. Additionally, a study published in 2016 found that women outperform men in 11 of 12 key emotional competencies. These competencies include emotional awareness, empathy, and teamwork. As I've shared, I'm part of OrthoCarolina's EPIC implementation team. I don't work alone in a silo. I collaborate daily with team members and colleagues in all levels of the organizations. And I speak with colleagues who have extensive medical experience and operational knowledge, but who may not have as much technical knowledge. It's okay. I find it natural for me to empathize when a colleague is expressing frustrations or uncertainty. The way I respond and manage the situation are critical in moving conversations toward understanding and solutions. By bringing our passions and our authentic selves, we bring diversity to the data science and analytics field. Here's hashtag innovation. I didn't forget about it. Study after study have shown teams that are more diverse are more innovative and creative. If you are passionate about innovation, then creating diversity on a team can help you find meaning in the work that you do. Here are 3 key decisions you can make to propel your passion into the field of data science and analytics. Number 1, choose to bring diversity. It's okay to be unique, to be different. Women represent less than half of data professionals, and if we consider racial minorities, the percentage is even less. We each bring our own natural talents and perspectives that are valuable. Number 2, choose to persevere by being resourceful. I talked about the opportunities and some of the resources that are available, but I did not talk about the technical skills required. Yes, the opportunities are there. Yes, it will be challenging. But I believe that almost any skill can be learned as long as you have the motivation and the passion that makes learning meaningful for you. And number 3, choose to enjoy the journey. Like me, I would imagine that you enjoy spending time learning about your passion and the industry that aligns with it. Having that extra industry knowledge will work to your advantage. These are not revolutionary choices, but these are the choices I've made. In fact, I continue to make these choices. Even though there are challenging days, I still choose to bring my authentic self every day. I choose to learn new skills and technologies that improve the work I produce, and I am enjoying the journey. For those women who are unsure about this career path, I encourage you to find the industry that aligns with your passion and to explore opportunities as data professionals within them. For those women who have few years of experience in this field, and if you're feeling unsure or you're feeling the intensity of demands at work, I encourage you to revisit your passion and remind yourself the meaningful work you are doing. And those women who have extensive experience and many years in this field, I encourage you, reach out and mentor others. Sharing your stories and experiences will inspire others, especially other women. I hope that you have been inspired and encouraged through this presentation. I would love to hear from you about your passion and the wonderful, meaningful work you are doing. I'm on LinkedIn, so please feel free to connect with me. Thank you.
So I would like to thank Ms. Linda for her insightful video on how to follow your passion. So if you have any questions down there, you can just mention in the chat box, and I'll just present that to her.
Thank you, Vidhi. I did see a question in our session from in our session screen from earlier, so I did want to address it. And the question that I saw was related to if the individual has a non-technical background, would I recommend if they do certifications or boot camps or a degree? And I did want to address that question because as I mentioned in the video, 15 years ago, this field of data science and analytics was practically just unheard of. I didn't know about it. But now we do have many resources available. I talked about the programs through UNC Charlotte. They have a boot camp as well as degrees now. So the resources are there, and they have certifications as well. And you can simply Google on data science certifications or data science boot camps, and a variety of resources pop up. So sometimes it can be overwhelming to decide on what to do. From my personal experience, in the beginning of my career, I did not have the resources and I was unaware of this field. That was more than 13 years ago. But I worked in healthcare because I was passionate about it. And I started my career at Premier. So through working as a consultant, mainly a data consultant specializing in the healthcare, I noticed that a lot of the individuals and organizations that I worked with through Premier were implementing Epic. And so I started looking and taking advantage of just the resources. And I found that Epic was a new software. And so a lot of organizations, especially hospitals, were implementing it. And I saw a trend that a lot of them are doing this kind of at the same time. And so I took the initiative to do additional research on my own, and found that at that time, Novant Health was implementing Epic. And so that's why I applied for a job at Novant and got that opportunity. But for me, it was more on the job learning. And through Epic, because it's a proprietary software, Epic actually has certifications that I had to pass in order to work with their software. So I encourage you to find whatever resource that works best for your schedule and your life situation and fit that into your life. Because it's what you make of that certification and how you use that as a tool to propel yourself into what you want to do is what really matters. It doesn't really matter what that certification is, regardless if it's a data science certification or a project management certification. It's just how you use it that really matters.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one more question by Taylor. For young professionals, how would you recommend standing out as a leader early on in their career, especially in a new job?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I see that Taylor had asked that question. Yes, for me, I go back to being authentic, being who you are. And when something comes into discussion at work and you have whether your opinion is supporting that decision or not supporting that decision, I recommend that you voice your opinion. Be authentic to yourself and be true to how you view and your perspective of that decision, and share that with your team, with your manager, and the individuals that you work with. And do it in a professional way. Don't do it in a way where you're talking behind someone's back, or you're not talking to the individual who's actually making that decision, but to other team members maybe. State your perspectives and opinions in an open environment so that everyone can kind of have a share shared opportunity of hearing your perspective for the first time instead of hearing it from the grapevine. So my recommendation is to be authentic to yourself and continue to share your perspectives.
Okay, so thank you, Taylor, for asking such a nice question. So the next question is by Tao. He is asking that, does data scientist require a master degree? I'm working on my bachelor in computer science with concentration in software engineering. Can I apply for data analyst job?
Yes, so Tao, you asked that question, and thank you for that question. Right now, there are many resources for the data science field, and there are master's degrees. But again, I go back to what works best for you. Do you have the time commitment for a master's degree? Does it work well with your life situation? For me, I have 3 little kiddos, so that wouldn't work for my situation now, but it may work for yours. So it's a personal decision that you have to make for yourself and the situation with your family. Another part of your question is, can I apply for data analyst jobs? Yes, if you are in the job market, you may be working, but there is no harm in looking to see what jobs are available. And a data analyst job is definitely what am I trying to say? It's an introductory job for you into this field, and you can gain hands-on experience while you're working as a data analyst. Not only that, but there may be opportunities with that employer to give you additional training, to give you more insight into the data science field if your ultimate goal is to be a data scientist. Not only that, but they may give you an opportunity to discover what kind of technical abilities you need to acquire to ascend your career into the role that you want in the future.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So the next question is by Himadri. She's saying that, like, if you have any tips for job seekers in the current job market in times of COVID.
Sure, and thank you for that question. And it is a difficult time. We are in a season in our lifetime where having a COVID pandemic is unprecedented. And for myself personally, I know many people who have lost their jobs due to this pandemic. So it is a challenge. But I will have to say that when you're looking for a job, or when an individual is looking for a job, there are a multitude of challenges. And this is just one of those challenges. I always recommend, and for myself, I'm always looking to see what is the latest trend, what is the latest skill that employers are looking for. So definitely look at the current job market, look at the jobs that are being posted. What skills are they looking for? Is it one hot skill right now is Python versus R, right? If that's the skill that you feel you need to get the job or role that you want, then yes, invest time and invest energy into acquiring that skill. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next question is by Subha. As mentioned by you earlier, there are a lot of resources available, and please suggest how to pick the right path to start the data scientist career. What are the basic learnings we have to do before we start our career? And like any specific math subjects in terms of methodology to research specific data, or how to approach a use case?
Sure, I'll take that first question first. What kind of basic learnings do we have to do? Like I mentioned before, I really feel like for me, what has worked for me is just to follow my passion, and then finding the opportunity within healthcare that needed data science or needed a data professional. And that's what led me to working and specializing with the Epic software. So I would encourage you to find what your passion is, and based on your life situation and your capability of either pursuing a master's degree, gaining that technical skills
maybe through certification, or maybe it's a boot camp. And like I said, you can search in Google, and there are other providers like Coursera, other sources that can provide you the technical skills that you need. One thing that I've done in the past is to just browse through job postings and look at my ideal company, look at the jobs that are available in data science within that company, and look at the skills that they are asking for and looking for. And then I make a plan for myself and say, within 1 year, I will acquire this skill this way, whether that be a boot camp, whether that be an online certification, which is very possible now, so that I can gain that skill in order to apply for that sort of position. Again, it's based on where you are in your life, what your passion is, and make it just all fit together.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. So thank you, Subha, for asking a question. Now it's Heba. She's saying that I got a certificate data analytics and visualization bootcamp 7 months ago at UNCC, and she isn't aware that what is the right way to use it. If you could just tell her what's the best way to find a job, and what is the field's recommendations in the market going on right now?
Sure. You finished your certification at UNC Charlotte. So first step I would recommend is reach out to their career resources. They have a variety of resources. They even have a podcast on careers in data science and analytics. So I recommend you reach out to those resources because that's where you got your certificate. And those resources should already be available to you. So use them. And what is the right way to use it? I would say if you're not working in a data field right now as a data professional, whether that be an analyst, then search the job postings. Go on Indeed.com. And just search to see what is available out there. What skill are they looking for? And did my certificate fill the need that they are looking for? One thing that I've done in the past is maybe just look in my ideal company and starting somewhere, getting my foot in the door so that I can discover other opportunities within that company.
Thank you. So the next question is by Subha. She's working as a data analyst and she wants to know the next path to be a data scientist. What are the technical details she has to focus on, or what are the methodologies one has to focus on?
Sure. Thank you for that question. So since you are working as an analyst, I recommend that you find a mentor, whether that be someone who's already within your organization, or it could be outside of your organization. And this individual doesn't have to be a data scientist or your ultimate role that you want to get, but someone who is a level above you. Maybe they're not an analyst, but they're a senior analyst. Share with them what your goals are and ask them, how do you advance to that next level from an analyst to a senior analyst? And then once you get there, look for another mentor. And we can have a multitude of mentors in our career path. It doesn't have to be just one individual. After you become a senior analyst, what is that next role? Is it a developer? Then look for a mentor in that role, in a step up, and kind of work your way up in that trajectory.
So the next question is by Taylor. She says that you are very passionate about what you do. So what would you say is the proudest moment of your career so far?
Well, thank you. I honestly think that my proudest moments are so I've been working with Epic and doing Epic implementations for a very long time. I'd say that my first Epic implementation with Novant Health is definitely my proudest moment, because that actually set the kind of the path for the rest of my career. And that was in about year 2012 was when I did my first Epic implementation. Ever since then, I've been working on the EPIC tool, and I specialize in EPIC analytics. And so that's why I encourage people to really pursue your passion, because you don't know what is out there until you look. I wouldn't have known that there was such a thing as EPIC until I noticed a trend. And I wouldn't have noticed the trend until I started working in healthcare. And there are other people who's worked with me, but they never noticed that trend. But I noticed it because I was paying attention. So pay attention to your passion, and you will find the opportunities.
Yeah, thank you, Linda, for answering it. So, like, if you have any more questions, you can just put in the chat box. So, Linda, I have a question for you. So, like,
Sure.
how easy for you was it for you to get accepted in a analytics domain, like being a woman out there? Because as you said, that there's a gender ratio which is comparatively low right now, because women, they don't really enter into an analytics domain as such. So, how easy was it for you to get accepted when you joined?
Sure. So I guess I can answer it there are two aspects to that. First is when I started studying and entering the field, the material was a challenge. And it wasn't until I found healthcare that I was able to grasp the material. And a lot of my certifications are in EPIC. And so just the challenge of not having a woman mentor in the beginning, that was challenging. But because I was passionate about healthcare, and I was passionate about the work that I would be doing once I got these EPIC certifications, I would have to say that I took extra time to learn the material. I took it upon myself to get the skills that I needed for doing EPIC implementations. And then the second piece is, once I actually got my certifications and working in teams, and the dynamic is challenging as well, because I am a minority woman, and most of the individuals, the teams that I work with in the technical field, most of them are men, and it's challenging. But I go back to just being authentic to yourself, voicing your perspectives and your opinion, and that's what I did. I continued to stand firm when I felt that my perspective was important and it could impact our success as a team. I continue to voice my opinion, whether that be if we develop our EPIC software a certain way, whether we assign privileges to users a certain way. There's a variety of things that teams discuss on. And when you stand firm and you voice your perspectives, team members, your managers, your leaders are going to take notice and say, this individual voiced their opinion. And when it matters, they care. Because if honestly, from my experience, if individuals don't voice their opinion, then people think that they may not care as much.
I actually agree to that. Okay, so like if you have any more questions, you can just put in the chat box. We can take one more question. So Taylor has asked that, how did you build the skill of always speaking so engagingly in front of others, and how has this developed throughout your career?
Oh, thank you for that question, Taylor. So I am an introvert at heart. It takes a lot of energy for me to be outspoken. I've always been authentic to myself, but voicing my opinion and perspectives is a skill that I would have to say an individual have to develop. It's not a secret. So I am part of Toastmasters, and there is a Toastmaster club here in Ballantyne, in South Charlotte, and I'm a part of that club. So I encourage you, if you feel like voicing your opinion and perspectives is a challenge for you, then join a Toastmaster club. Work on your speaking. It doesn't have to be public speaking. It's just speaking in team meetings, speaking to other individuals, and just helping you voice what you have in your mind and sharing that with others. That was my challenge. And so practicing through Toastmasters definitely help. So yeah, I encourage you to join a Toastmaster club in your area if you have that challenge as well.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor. So are there any more questions out there before we end the session? Maybe we can wait for a few seconds, and if we see, like, if we get more questions.
Sure. Yeah, I like I said, I am on LinkedIn. Feel free to message me, connect with me. I'll be happy to share any more insights that I may have and answer any questions that may come up later. So yeah, just feel free to look me up and connect with me as well.
That's great. That's great. So maybe we can take a call to end the session. And I would actually like to thank Linda for just giving her precious time in this conference. And moreover, I feel that, yeah, being authentic, it really matters in the world right now. And just be that. And thank you, Linda, for giving your precious time to us.
You're very welcome. Have a great day, everyone.